If you have ever walked into a gym and simply felt like you don't belong, you've looked around and you think people are whispering about you, looking at you, judging you, or silently thinking, what is she doing here? I promise you, you are not the problem and you're not alone. Welcome back to the Get Buff with Reeds podcast, where we focus on ways that you can build confidence, strength, and resilience without spending your entire day focusing on your health and fitness. I'm Reeds, and today we're covering gym anxiety. I know so many people, in particular women, really struggle with this. That nervous, on edge feeling when you walk in, that just makes you want to run out of the place. I know that feeling all too well because I experienced it myself. I know how much it can hold you back from conquering your goals and just doing what you want to do, especially if you've been raised to shrink yourself. Be that physically or mentally, constantly trying to make yourself small as possible. The gym environment is the complete opposite to that. So, I'm going to talk you through how to start taking up space and owning the fact that you are a strong woman. So, let's talk about why gym anxiety is so common, but also why it hits so hard. As women, most of us were raised in an environment where we were told not to take up space. We were told not to be too loud, not be too confident, because we'd come across as bossy, and to shrink ourselves essentially. When you're in the gym is a space that's completely opposite to that, because the gym is a space that's loud, heavy, and unapologetic. So if you've spent your entire life trying to shrink yourself, be that physically or metaphorically, the gym is a space that really challenges that. Stepping into that kind of environment can feel uncomfortable, especially when you have the added pressure of trying to look like you know what you're doing, trying to take ownership and feel like you have a plan when you go in. Then the moment you walk in, suddenly everyone's eyes are on you. And this isn't always something that happens, but it's something we feel like is happening when we walk into that space. It's like our brain tricks us into believing we're being watched because we know internally we feel so uncomfortable. Spoiler alert, most people are way too wrapped up in their own workout, or looking at themselves in the mirror, or focused on whether they look silly, to be paying attention to what you're doing. The truth is, you're really not that important to them. But I get it, I really do, because the moment you step through those doors, the fear kicks in, your heart starts pounding, your palms start feeling clammy. Oh my gosh, I sound like Eminem right now, but you know what the feeling is. And the thing that makes it even worse is we often tie our own self worth to how fit or how attractive we look. So we're assuming that by walking into this place, you only belong there if you're already fit. And that couldn't be further from the truth. The gym is the place you go to get in shape, to get strong, to feel good in your skin. No one goes to the gym being a finished product when they start. Everybody needs a foundation to start from. So, no, you won't feel the most confident. You won't be the healthiest. You won't be the strongest. And you definitely won't be the fittest when you start your journey. But by showing up and making progress, you will get closer and closer to that goal. You don't have to be perfect. You simply have to show up. Let's be honest, walking into the weight section as a woman can be intense. It's usually taken up by these huge men clanging plates, making lots of noise, and just overall, it's just an uninviting place. When you don't know how to use the equipment, this is an added layer of stress. Because of that, so many women will stick to cardio or stick to their mat section with the little baby weights and will never really venture into the weight section and see everything that it has to offer. Now, here's something that really helped me. No one is going to start off as the expert. No one is going to start off with level 100 confidence. Confidence is built by doing the thing again and again. There's no way around it. Whatever it is that you need to get good at, you have to put the reps in and you have to get it done, especially when it feels awkward and uncomfortable. I'll be honest, when I started my journey, I used to find my favorite YouTuber, shout out Whitney Simmons, back in the day, and I would follow her workouts verbatim. I would follow every single exercise, looking at my phone in between reps and sets, and just pretend like I was scrolling through my music. At first, I really used to care. Oh no, what if someone sees me going through my phone, watching these videos? They're going to think I don't have a clue. And at some point, I stopped caring because I was learning, and this was allowing me to be in that space. It was allowing me to do the very thing that I was scared of. So why should I care if they can see the video tutorial of the exercise on my phone? Why should that matter? Their opinion really doesn't hold any value. And now, nearly 10 years later, I own that space. I'm the girl that walks in with the tripod and films herself with a mic and looks super silly. So sometimes you just have to do the thing that made you feel uncomfortable. So if you're ever feeling like an imposter, I want you to take a moment and realize if you look around in that room, everybody has had a moment where they were in your shoes. Every single person that is there taking up space started somewhere. They weren't born with the knowledge, they weren't born with the confidence. They had to do the reps, build the confidence to learn and achieve where they're at now. You see the girl over there doing 3 plates on the hip thrust? Trust me, she had a day one where she was doing just a barbell. Or the guy doing the weighted pull-ups. There was a day when he first got his first body weight pull-up. Every single person in that room has an origin story. Everyone has a day one. I promise you, the more you show up, the more those feelings of anxiety just fade. You start feeling like you belong. It's almost like you fake it till you make it, because that truly is what happens. If you show up trying to exude as much confidence as possible, suddenly you'll start really feeling that confidence. And just remember, you're not there to impress anybody. You're there to build strength, get super strong, and build confidence. And that deserves respect. I want to share something personal here. When I started my journey all those years ago, I started off with a PT. I'll be honest, she wasn't the best. She wasn't passionate about the job, and that really came through. So, no, did she give me the body I wanted, the confidence I wanted? No. But I don't regret the experience. And this is why. She introduced me to the weight section. This was something I had never really stepped into. And I feel like in that time, the reason I had some level of resentment towards her was because she introduced me to the weight section, but would then still take up half my session doing cardio that I could have done alone, and that I did do 5 times a week alone. 30 minutes of cardio in a 60-minute PT session just really showed that she couldn't be bothered. However, what she did do was take me over to the weight section, teaching me small things, like how to use a squat rack. That might be very simplistic, But those little sessions where she showed me how to use the weight section completely changed everything for me. Because now I felt like I belonged in this area. I knew how to use the equipment. So the not knowing had disappeared. So that wasn't another level of, it wasn't another barrier anymore. I knew how to use it. Did I know how to use it with perfect form? No, but I now had some understanding of how to use some of the equipment. I suddenly realized that the weight section wasn't just reserved for the dudes. It was for anyone that was willing to put in the work. And that shift from feeling like an outsider to feeling like, hang on a second, I belong here is huge. And that's the shift that I want for you. If you walk into the gym thinking everybody is looking at me, I want you to shift it to this. Instead, ask yourself, what if no one's judging me at all? What if no one really cares that I'm here and they're more concerned about what they're doing and what they're focused on? What if they're actually thinking, fair play to her? Fair play to her for being here and showing up. Or more importantly, what if their opinions don't matter? How do their opinions shape your life? How does it impact your life? Why should you care? Because you're not there for them, you're there for you. I promise you that mindset's going to carry you through. Not the mindset of trying to blend in or trying to stand out, but the mindset of I belong here. And I don't care what anyone thinks because I deserve to be here just as much as they do. Okay, let's get practical. How do we implement strategies to make us feel like we belong? Step one is have a plan before you walk in. Know what you're going to do before you get there. Because when you are unsure of what you're going to do, that lets the uncertainty creep in and will make you feel anxious. So go in with a plan, write down the exercises you're going to do, and if you can, try to plan it in a way where the machines you need or the equipment you need is fairly close together because that reduces the time where you're looking around and wondering and feeling unsure of yourself. Two is it's okay to start with machines if you're not feeling entirely confident with free weights. The good thing about machines is they often force you into good form, where with free weights, form can be a little bit more tricky and you need to be a little bit more precise with your movements. Machines aren't less than, they're a great tool. And if it means you're not feeling confident, but knowing you can use machines helps you get into the gym and start building your confidence and just getting comfortable with being there, then do it. Pick quieter times at first. It's okay to not go at a time where you know you're going to feel overwhelmed. Going on a Monday at 6:30 is often likened to being in hell. I'll be honest, I still avoid that time like the plague. From time to time, yes, sure, that will be the only time I can train in a day. But is it my personal preference? Absolutely not. I like structure and I like to follow the plan I have in mind when I get to the gym. So if equipment is busy and there's 100 people in the gym, that stresses me out. I don't like deterring from the plan. So I do pick times where I know it's not going to be overly crowded. I don't mind if it's a little bit busy, but if there's more people than equipment in the gym, for me personally, I'd rather try to avoid that. There is no shame in picking a time that you know is going to be quieter to avoid the overwhelm. You also want to give yourself that time to build the confidence before you throw yourself in at the deep end. You want a time where you know there's not going to be lots of eyes on you, where you're not too worried if you're making mistakes and learning from them. You want to go when you feel most comfortable. Your walk really matters. So pull those shoulders back, keep your chin up, put those headphones on, and stride in with all the confidence. Pick a song that just makes you feel amazing because it's going to give you that confidence. I'm sure you've heard about power posing. This is no different. If you teach your body to look confident, you'll start feeling confident. And it's the same with music. Music always makes you feel good if you pick the right track. So have the best pumped track on possible and walk in with confident body language. Then pick a couple of exercises. I'm going to say stick to compounds here where you can get really, really good at them. Because once you get really, really good at something, you'll start feeling confident in the knowing that, oh, I can do that really well. And then once you've built up those couple of movements, you'll move on to something that's not as familiar. And you'll be able to conquer that movement next. So don't focus on getting 20 movements right straight away. Pick one or two or three that you can get really, really good at. Familiarity breeds confidence. So once you're familiar with those movements, you will feel really, really good. The more competent you feel, the less you start caring about what everyone else is thinking. You quieten the noise in your head. You start to turn off the noise and just focus on what it is that you're doing. Remind yourself why you're actually there. You're not there for anybody else. You're not there to perform. You're there to get 1% better every time you show up. If you remember your why, you'll stop worrying and feeling stressed. You're there to build something real, something for yourself. Just by showing up, you're already doing something that most people won't. You're already winning. This entire episode has been about how you show up at the gym. But I want to zoom out for a second because I think all of this translates to how you show up in life. If you have grown up or been in an environment where you've been told not to be too loud, not to be too much, not to show too much confidence, not to appear too bossy with your opinions, then the gym is something that's really going to challenge all of that. When you're in a gym that requires you to step up, to be confident, to be brazen, to be your best self, that's a big challenge. But that will also trickle down to how you show up in other areas of your life. Suddenly, you'll take that meeting, you'll lead that meeting, or your friends will be like, there's been such a positive change in you. Suddenly, you're not unsure of yourself anymore. You're taking up space and you're not apologizing. And that's why I'm such a champion for lifting, because truthfully, it is so powerful. It's not just about muscle, it's about mindset. The woman who shows up for herself at the gym is the same woman who shows up for herself at work. It's the same woman that now starts to lead. It's the same woman that takes up space and ownership over her work. The one who stops second guessing herself. The one who wears the crop top. The one who doesn't care about wearing a bikini on her vacation because she feels damn good. The woman who says, I don't need permission to take up space. Now, if no one's ever told you this before, let me. You deserve to take up space. You are allowed to take up space. In fact, you deserve to take up space. Be that in the gym, at home, at work, in your social circle. And if lifting is the key that helps you do that, then sis, go for it and lift up that barbell. You don't have to be confident to start. All you need to do is show up and try your best. And I know you can do that. And the more and more you show up, you'll suddenly realize, I belong here. I always belonged here. I just had to take that first step. If this episode hit home for you and you have ever struggled with gym anxiety, drop me a DM. I want to hear about it and I want to know about your experience. I'd love to hear from you and support you in any way that I can. You deserve to feel strong and confident and be able to show up in every single room. And be empowered to walk into every single room, starting with the gym. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode, and I'll see you in the next one.